Our next guest came up with a great idea to help families celebrate faith while sharing and preserving their most cherished memories and traditions. Joining me in the studio, award-winning author, Sister Gianna with her new book, Mom, Tell Me Why You're Catholic and Everything Else You Love. I'm so happy you are here. I just love this idea. It is such a beautiful book. And you co-wrote it with Eileen Spinner.
Yes.
How did this all come about?
Sure, yes. So I would say this journey started when my mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer. It was actually in the middle of my internship. And my co-author, Eileen Spinner, she's my supervisor at my site. And we actually do work along the bedside of hospice patients and their families. And so this cross that came kind of in a sudden moment of my mom being diagnosed really inspired and moved me to do what we do for others, and that is to preserve their legacy, their memories, and their stories for their loved ones, because I think every person is a book, and every day is a new chapter, and God is the author. So it's really like a two-way gift. It's a gift children can give to their parents, and parents can give that gift of being seen and heard. So.
Were you able to sit down with your mom and do some of these questions?
So yes, that's actually how it was all born. Those last months that she was ill, I was with her, next to her at her bed, and we would just talk late into the night. And I was recording and typing all these questions down. And I knew there would come a time that I would be missing her, and we talked about that. We talked about everything. I'm really close to my mom and my dad. He also passed away about 3 years ago. So this was a very sensitive moment for me, but I think it was also beautiful. I think that God pulled a lot of grace from the grief until now, and I think that's the beauty of it all.
Were there some, as you're talking to your mom, and I love that, yes, write it down. We always have these conversations, but if we don't write it down, we forget. But were there things that really surprised you that you didn't know?
Yes, absolutely. I think there's so many stories, and you can find this in the book too, Mom, if for example, if I was born and I wasn't a girl, what would you name me if I was a boy? Or what would your last meal be if you really wanted last meal? Things like that. Or stories like if you could choose to raise me differently, what would you have done differently? So yes, a lot of those.
And you talk about I know this is Mom, Tell Me Why You're Catholic and Everything Else You Love. But I thought about it too, because I lost my dad a long time ago. I wish I knew some of the answers in this book that are just so beautiful and personal. And there's more than 100 questions.
Yes.
Right?
There's probably 180 in there.
180?
Yes.
And it's just such a wide variety. How did you and Eileen come up? And really, that you have this, for everything from the facts of where you were born and all that, but really, do you have any miracles in your life? Who's your favorite saint, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely those dinner table conversations you have throughout your life. Things like things I wished I could have asked my dad or my mom before they passed. That was all played a part in this. And then I think it was really a blend of Eileen, who is a wife, mother, and counselor herself, a blend of her vocation, my vocation as a consecrated sister. And I definitely attribute that to my parents' vocation, being married, me witnessing their life and their love, and me wanting to share that story. I just think everyone has a story that deserves to be seen and heard. So this is a way for you to do that.
Moms, dads,
yes,
grandparents.
Yes.
If your grandparents are still alive, capture their memories too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What kind of reaction are you getting to the book?
I've gotten, everything has just been beautiful, fruitful, good. I think so many moms, adult children have just said, thank you for this gift, because it's given me this avenue where I can have a deep, intimate connection with my mom. We can strengthen familial bonds. People have come to the dinner table, like Eileen was telling me, and they've just had moments of laughing and slowing down and just being there for one another. So it's been beautiful.
And fun.
Yes.
It's not just facts. It's here I'm just opened up to, what and who would you take to a deserted island? Okay, really think about it, right? Or if you had a lot of money, how would you spend it in 24 hours? I don't know if it was $1 million. If you had $1 million, how would you spend that in 24 hours? And who would you give all the money to? Really sit down, think about it, and talk about it, right?
Right. And you live with these people your whole life, and there's so much to them that you want to also bring out, and there's so much to learn too.
Yeah. So your hope, when you and Eileen sat down and you both, you dedicate it beautifully to your own moms.
Yes.
And you sat there and you go like, what do you hope for other families who are sitting down and doing this?
Yes, my hope for other families is that they can pass on this spiritual legacy and their treasure of faith. I believe that's the greatest gift and inheritance that a child can receive is the faith of their parents. It's everything.
Yeah, and to hear their faith, that does strengthen your own, obviously, right?
Yes.
I mean, they gave us this foundation, and I just to really look back on, where they got their foundation from too really helps, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
If I could quickly say, that's
Sure.
actually how I also got motivation for this idea. I asked my mom, why is her Catholic faith so strong and where did it come from? And she said it was my grandma, her own mom, who I also had the privilege of living with. So I could totally see that generational tradition passed down.
That's so beautiful. I absolutely love this. I'm going to see my mom later today, who is now 96 years old. And I'm looking through this going, I can't wait to just sit down and talk about it. Before you go, though, can you tell us about your congregation?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Sisters of?
Yes, the Sisters of the Leaven of the Immaculate Heart of Mary Sisters.
Okay.
Yes.
Just, a little bit about your vocation and how you found this congregation.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. So I've wanted to be a sister since I was in kindergarten. That was the first time I saw a sister, and I've known my congregation ever since. They are a congregation that's dedicated to the education and formation of youth and families. So they're teachers in the school, and then they do home consecrations. Our charism is victimhood. I have my cross here. It's becoming a living sacrifice of love, a victim soul, and offering all of our sufferings and joys and offerings to the crucified Christ in union with Mary. So our congregation was founded in the Philippines, and we have convents in Australia and also in the U.S.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm so glad you came in today. I just, like I said, I'm taking the book home. Thank you so much. The book is Mom, Tell Me Why You're Catholic and Everything Else You Love. Where can everybody get the book, sister?
You can buy it at the publishing site, which is books.catechesis.com, also at major retailers. So you can go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart. It's all available online.
Okay.
Yes.
Mother's Day, any day, perfect book. Sister Gianna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Colleen. This is wonderful.